Oh, there's another one. And then another one over here. Well, greetings. Oh, there's some trash. I'm in another dispersed campsite doing yet more cleanup. This time, getting a lot of shell casings. And grabbed my little bucket and I went between this tree. You can see I'm camped right here. Between this tree and that tree, and then 100 feet out, which is, you see this rock that I'm touching, that tree just past it, that's easily 50 feet farther. So basically about by that rock there. And so basically from there to there and then across to here. This is maybe, I don't know, 30 feet, and that's maybe 100 feet at the most. And I've been finding quite a bit of this kind of stuff, shell casings. But these sorts of things I just keep finding over and over and over and over. And you know, I've done what I can, and that's kind of the best you can do. I don't seem to see too many more, but I've got them collected in the fire ring here for sorting to get the rest of these out, because there probably are more hidden away in there that I just couldn't see. But there's a lot of other trash as well. And here's a collection of some of these live rounds. Look at all these live rounds. Every single one of these has the potential to kill somebody. Probably a firefighter who comes out here in the midst of a wildfire when these would be exposed to fire, had they been left in the soil over there. All right, here we have one of these corroded 22 rounds that are allegedly dead. You know, you leave them on the ground, oh, they'll be dead shortly. This is about the most corroded one I can find. Now, I'm going to hit it with a torch and see if I can set it off. And I should remind you that you should never, ever, ever do this. This is extremely dangerous. Don't do it at home. Don't do it outside of your home. Just don't even try it. I'm going to take one for the team here. I'm going to start the torch and run. Well, I did not even get to safety before that went off. I literally was 5-6 feet away. I wasn't even behind cover. And that's why that's very dangerous. But as you can see, that round was in the dirt and was, who knows how many years it took for dirt to pile up, a good inch of dirt over it. And so leaving it on the ground could leave it viable for, who knows, years. I'm guessing that was there at least a couple of years ago, and yet it still was a viable round. It could have gone off. Look at how quickly it went off. Boom! Before I could even get a few steps away, it went off. Never do this. I'm going to apply a torch to this allegedly inert dead round and see if we can't get it to go off. I'm a little worried that something's going to go flying off and hit my truck somewhere or something like that, but let's just see what happens. It blew out the torch. See that? That is the round that was in the ground. That was supposed to be inert and completely dead because they just left it and it should be safe. That was a viable round. If I had been standing right here, I would have been hit by the lead slug. And of course, the shell casing went that way, I'm guessing. Equal but opposite reactions. That's why there is an end to the barrel of a gun so that the pressure is here and it sends all the pressure down the barrel and not in opposite directions. Let this be a lesson to all of you who go shooting. Every round you leave stays viable for who knows how long. You could injure or kill a firefighter. Let's find out how inert they are. All we need is a couple pairs of pliers, and we can probably pull this shell casing apart. There we have the round. We're just going to put that aside, and now what we have in here is gunpowder. There it is. So how inert is this gunpowder after sitting around so long that the shell is that tarnished? Well, let me just pull out a lighter. Let's see if it catches on fire at all. I'll tell you how viable this gunpowder is. Let's just see. Maybe we don't want those next to it. Oh gosh, does that look like inert gunpowder to you? Absolutely not. That is this was a viable bullet. that was left out here. And there's one more little detail in terms of whether it's a viable bullet, and that is if the primer is still able to go off. And this isn't all that dangerous, really. It's about the equivalent of like a cap from a cap gun going off. But so I can probably do this pretty safely like this. Well, my ear is now ringing, but that was a real viable bullet. Absolutely viable. But I mean, mount shell casing, you know, when people are this irresponsible, it starts to become, and okay, let me backtrack, this irresponsible for this long. Obviously, not very many of these are perfectly shiny. They've been abandoned here for years. This has been a popular shooting site for years, and no one is cleaning up after themselves. And so, you look at a daunting mess like this, you know, there's an area over there that I saw some shotgun target shooting done that I couldn't even get to. I have to go. I'm out of water. I'm out of some supplies. I got to go resupply. There's another one. They're just everywhere. There are thousands and thousands of them. And, you know, somebody would say, why even bother, you know, when it's, you know, basically every dispersed campsite is like this. Some worse, many way worse. And even the Forest Service just looks at it and keeps driving. I've seen, literally witness them do that very thing. They look over, they look at a trash campsite and just keep on going. 2 weeks later, it's still trashed. A month later, it's still trashed. They didn't do anything. So, I mean, when everybody at the top doesn't care, who is left to actually do this sort of stuff? And, you know, I've been seeing a phrase in a lot of the things I've been reading that's sort of been serendipitously coming into my consciousness lately, and I don't know why, but the phrase is, if not you, who? And if not now, when? I don't know where that's from or who originated that or coined that, but it's kind of like comes down to the point where, you know, you get into these trashed campsites, you know, the huge lengths of wire. You look up in the tree, there's barbed wire up there strung around the tree and rope. And, you know, obviously people have been hacking at these trees. Here they've been shooting these trees. That's specifically illegal. Look, they're trying to make an F out of bullets. I mean, my goodness, come on. Gee, I wonder what they were trying to spell out. That tree's shot to crap. There's a tree over here that's almost about to fall over because it's literally been shot in half almost. Spikes in this tree, spikes in that tree, garbage and cat holes everywhere. Who is going to clean this up? Nobody. So if not me, who? You know? And why wait? I'm sitting in this campsite. I'm willing to. I have the means to do it. I got 2 hands that can do this work. So why not now? You know, especially before it starts getting wet and it's muddy and it's too kind of messy to get into the ground and pull this stuff back out. But if not me, who? You? Are you going to come out here and clean up these campsites? No, I doubt it. You know, and if you did have the inclination to, when would you do it? Yeah, probably once or twice a year, if that. Just often enough to make sure social media knows that you did it. You know, this isn't probably going to go on social media. I might put it on the channel, but all I can say is this is such a sheer level of irresponsibility that I just don't even know where to begin, you know. I can try, and I do my best to clean up what I can, but I've had to leave a lot more out there that I just don't have the time or the time and the resources to clean up. I certainly have nowhere to take this stuff. Where would I put it? You know, I'd have to put it in public garbage, which, you know, household garbage is not allowed. Specifically, this stuff definitely wouldn't be allowed. Where do I take this even? You know, I've asked the Forest Service to provide me with bags or give me a place to dump this stuff that I clean up, and they don't have any interest. The Department of Environmental Quality won't even return my calls. So, you know, if not me, who? You know, I seem to be the only one out here doing this, and it's never happening, so why not now? If not now, when? Now. If not me, who? No, me. So I am now doing this. And I certainly hope that you take some time whenever you're camping, anywhere you're camping, to go around your campsite. And I'm talking around. Do concentric loops up to 100 yards from your campsite. Some of this stuff was 100 yards away from here, and I had to bring it on back. Like these 2 giant pieces of plywood were 100 yards out that way. Just left out in the woods. Who knows why? There's a firing over here with abandoned junk in it. There's another firing over there with abandoned junk in it. Just in the woods. No trails even leading to it. So we've got to actually, you know, take the time. And who's going to actually do that? Nobody but me, apparently. So if not me, who? It's got to be me. And I certainly hope that if you watch this video and you really listen to what I'm saying, you might actually be inspired to make it so that I'm not the only one, you know, standing against the tide here, trying to punch the waves back. I could use a little help, folks, and I certainly would appreciate if not just me, but also you would be who is willing to clean this up, and that you would do it today, not whenever you get to it, you know, when, no. Get a fire in your belly and come out here and clean this up. And document it. Turn in every piece of evidence you can find. If there's a barcode, turn it in. If you think you got a fingerprint, turn it in. If you got identifying information like an address left on something like I've found, turn it in. All the authorities can do is admit that they didn't do any action on it, and therefore they then become ultimately responsible. Hence, we can use the system, but we've got to actually use the system. It's there. It can work. We just have to make it work. Bend it to your will. It's malleable. It's not inflexible. And we can get this stuff cleaned up. It's just going to take concerted effort and people caring. I care. Do you?